Well, what the hell did I just watch? Seriously, that wasn't a football match. That was a public execution. 5-0 in a Champions League final against Inter from PSG. Yeah, the same PSG that once blew a 4-0 lead to Barcelona. And now, a few years later, they have just crushed the iconic Inter Milan, a team that honestly is starting to feel like the Santa Claus of the Champions League, just handing out trophies to anyone who's never had one before. And I'm not even exaggerating. I was reading, and it turns out that back in 1967, they lost to Celtic and gifted them their first ever European Cup. Then, more recently, we all remember what happened with Manchester City, and now PSG joins the club. At least against City, they put up a fight. This time, they didn't even show up. I don't even know where to start. I mean, I thought we were in for a proper final. After the way Inter played against Barca, the absolute battle. I honestly expected something similar. It even reminded me of that time they faced Manchester City. They didn't have the superstars, no Pep on their side. But man, they put up a hell of a fight. If it weren't for Lukaku getting in the way, I'm pretty sure they might have actually won that one. So yeah, I was expecting something tight today, maybe 2-1, 1-1, and penalties. Something dramatic. But instead, well, we got this. And yeah, I know PSG had been looking solid all season, and Luis Enrique is no joke, but 5 men in a Champions League final? And look, as much as PSG deserves credit, man, what a collapse from Inter. Like, wow. Their season just fell apart completely. They lost in the Italian Cup semis. Then they somehow let the Series A title slip away in the last 20 minutes of the season. And now this? That's not just bad luck. That's tragic. I couldn't believe how lifeless they looked. And poor Inzaghi on the sidelines. He screamed more in the first half than Lautaro even touched the ball. The man looked like he was ready to run on the pitch and play himself. The players showed no fight, no reaction, no nothing. It was like they mentally left the stadium. At some point, I truly wonder if Inter's plan was just, well, maybe PSG gets bored. I don't know. But getting into the game itself, everything, and I mean everything, from the very start, it was all PSG. Absolutely all of it. The tempo, the control, the intensity, it was all coming from Paris. They didn't give Inter a single second to breathe. The first goal was a beautiful build-up. Vitinha started it, Etue made a really smart run, and Hakimi finished it off cleanly. He didn't even celebrate out of respect for his time at Inter, although, to be fair, it was just one season. And man, Dembélé was everywhere. Pressing Sommer non-stop, forcing bad passes, creating pure chaos. It was relentless. And Vitinha, bro, I've said it before, but this game just confirmed it. That guy is a machine. He was winning balls, distributing, moving into space, and basically destroying the entire Inter midfield. Inter couldn't do anything. Every time they tried to build from the back, PSG was on them. Then the second goal happened, and it was honestly hilarious. The ball looked like it was going out for a corner. Inter kind of just stopped, like waiting for the corner. Meanwhile, PSG kept going. 2 touches later, Dembélé slows it down, makes the perfect pass, and Etue buries it. 2-0. Di Marco was just getting cooked, the midfield was non-existent, and I really forgot that Lautaro was even playing. You know what the craziest part is? PSG didn't even look tired, like at all. The rotations, the movement, it was non-stop. The second half was a straight-up humiliation. The third goal, man, that was football poetry. Dembélé, who had already been a nightmare for Inter, pulls out this ridiculous back heel. He didn't even look. It lands perfectly for Vitinha, who slices Inter open again, and then Etue finishes it off with ice-cold precision. At that point, Inter just completely fell apart. Like emotionally, mentally, they were done. The fourth goal was a ball to Kvaratskhelia, and my guy is just sprinting into space, and he finished it off like it's just another drill. Coming to this point, I don't think it's worth breaking things down any further. There was only one team on the pitch. Majulu scored the fifth, and from there, it was just a matter of waiting for the final whistle, because honestly, even with 5 goals, PSG went easy on Inter. Luckily, the referee didn't add any extra time. And listen, credit where credit's due. Luis Enrique built a machine. What we saw out there wasn't just effort. It was like a organized chaos, rotational madness, high pressure, beautiful passing, mental sharpness, all of it clicking at the exact right moment. It's the first Champions League for the club, the second for Luis Enrique. You could tell this project, which started back in 2011 when the money came in, finally matured. It was no longer just about stars. This was about structure. I mean, no Messi, no Neymar, no Mbappe anymore. And somehow this PSG felt more complete than any version we've seen before. So yeah, congrats PSG. You finally did it. As for Inter fans, I think this match and the end of the season in general was tougher than it should have been. Even though they played with a structure that had worked for them, well, I just think they never adapted to PSG's style of play, and afterwards, mentally, they couldn't recover. Anyway, that's all from me. I'll try to follow some matches and comment on them when I can. So for now, until next time, peace.